that there are hundreds of articles a month. I mean, I'm in airports and things. It's just all over the newsstands. Yes, we're run by foreign banks, but thank God they run us. It's good to have technocrats run things. Our Congress is vestigial. Our Congress is ceremonial. This is the best way to, and they're just getting all these criminals together to just act like it's all good. All the collaborators dancing around like Vichy French, saying we're occupied and it's wonderful and it's beautiful. No, it's not. And a lot of business people are like, well, it's a new boss. No, it's not a new boss. You need to understand that. This is, we're going to beat them down the road, though. A lot of this is going to go ahead and take place. It's going to get really bad, and then everybody's going to remember what they heard here and realize it's going to get darker and darker. There's going to be no reason anymore to lay down. Because I know that tyranny is, suffered a long time, and it's easy to make excuses and go along with it. But, I mean, this is pure evil we're dealing with. CJ in Michigan, you're on the air, CJ.
Hey, brother. Yeah,
hey.
I think that the cops and the military will implement this New World Order UN agenda here. I think they will confiscate guns. I hear you all the time being pretty optimistic, and overall I am. I think we will ultimately defeat this. But these cops, man, they've been militarized. They are on a power trip. I mean, they can't wait to get the orders. I mean, I think there's going to be some defections, definitely, but the majority of them.
Hey, today I was driving, and usually the Travis County Sheriff's Department seem like pretty nice people. Today I was at a red light, and I had my children in the car, and driving out of this parking lot was a unmarked Sheriff's Department car, and the guy had his window down. And I'm sitting there with my wife and kids, and he stopped the car kind of in a parking lot I was going to, and bugged his eyes out at me like a little kid. And I thought it was like a joke. It was so weird that I was looking at him, couldn't even register it. But, I mean, I don't know. This country's in a lot of trouble. It's just a general spirit of insanity is what's descended upon us.
We have to keep up the info war to get more people on our side. But their program, like you said, it's a program, is so entrenched in the reality of everything that there's no way that we're going to avert a full-out war. It's going to come down to that. I'm pretty guaranteed.
Well, look, whatever happens, happens. All I know is we better now try to get the word out and work as hard as we can now to spread the word. Listen, I'm going to go to another caller. Thank you, CJ. Scott in Denver, Colorado. Take us out to break. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. How you doing?
Good.
In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I want to bless you and your crew and put you in a good providence.
Thank you.
I've been being real active. I have a bullhorn myself. I've been bullhorning out of my Jeep. In the past week, I've been pulled over 3 times. They couldn't do anything because I still have the First Amendment right to express my free speech against the liar Obama.
But they want to let you know soon you're going to get it, you evil American.
Well, actually, the police were very receptive. They said that they agree with the First Amendment because they did swear that oath.
Well, then why are they pulling you over?
Because of the Obamianists that keep calling and saying that I'm inciting violence and then driving recklessly. They'll do anything. They think we have a Gestapo now.
Oh, did you see they had a parade in Florida where it just said Obama Nation on a car? So the Secret Service came?
Obama is not my dictator. Obama is not even a legitimate president of the United States of America.
Well, Scott, great job, brother, and good job to the police, not loving the destruction of America. But if I was them, I wouldn't even respond to those fake calls. All right, my friends, we are back live. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I was thinking during the break about what this society, what this country is facing. And it's just so crazy. And at its root is that the general public see themselves as spectators that just do what government tells you, do what the announcements say. The government wants to keep you safe from Al-Qaeda. The government's so corrupt and evil, it openly runs Al-Qaeda and doesn't even hide that now. All the top Al-Qaeda, Anwar al-Awlaki, all of them trained at U.S. bases, hang out with the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the Army, while they're on the most wanted list. It's all a big joke. And it even comes out in Fox News. The underwear bomber, the 7/7 mastermind, all of them, MI6, CIA, Mossad. And people, you know, I've talked to police and others, and they go, yeah, I know, I've seen that in the news, but, you know, the Muslims are still terrorists and want to kill us. And I'm like, but our government's putting the radical Muslims in because it's not our government. You understand what a clash of civilizations is, a Hegelian dialectic. People just go, you know what, I just want to hate Muslims. Oh, okay, well, I get that part. But do you understand the bankers run the radical Muslims? I mean, this is now, that's how dumb they think you are. That's how stupid they think you are, that they hide it in plain view. And they've now had whistleblower documents come out from major, you know, vaccine makers from their virologist about how they knew it was making people sick and how they knew it did. I mean, it's just, it's so incredible that Gardasil killed people during the trials. And so they still got it approved. I mean, it's a... China bans melamine in the milk because it's killing people. Our FDA comes out and says it's good for babies. Doesn't hurt them. I mean, this is crazy, folks. The crooks can get away with anything now, and it's going to get worse. That's what happens in society. Let's talk to George, Roger, Lloyd, Tim, and Victor. Victor, I didn't get to my whole rise of the robots drone situation. I'll try to cover that tomorrow on the weekday show. You know, how the system's trying to replace people entirely. It's very important. It's the most important subject I could cover. We're allowing ourselves to be written out of the equation. The globalists have all their big white papers on the subject. Very frustrating to know all this is going on, that just bizarre matrix-level stuff is happening. And the average person literally has no idea it's going on or knows it's going on but doesn't believe they have any power to change it. Let's talk to George in Texas. You're on the air. George, are you concerned about the president saying he'll sign a UN treaty to restrict our Second Amendment?
Oh, yes, I am. And I'll tell you one thing. He tries to come in Texas and take our guns, it's going to be a rout. That's all I could say. But one thing I do say about this UN gun ban, one thing they haven't eviscerated in our Bill of Rights that I'm concerned about is the Third Amendment, where they start quartering troops in our homes. You know, back in days of the colonies, they had lists of homes to go quarter because they were activists or whatever.
Well, it says standing armies as well. You're not posse comitatus, part 1, 1878's posse comitatus after Reconstruction. It actually says standing armies. You don't have military patrolling inside your country. You only have it on the border. Obama's getting rid of most of the Border Patrol checkpoints, the ones that are right on the border that you actually need. Most of the ones that are 100 miles in harassing citizens, those are going to stay open. He's going to give the illegals free health care. That's already begun. And they're running ads for food stamps advertising for illegals. I mean, this is the globalist takeover. And soon they'll have enough voters that want big government and want the free government handouts, and they're going to vote to take our guns, and they're going to march foreign armies against us. People said that'll never happen. The globalists want a civil war in this country, sir.
Well, all I got to say is we better get down on our knees, pray, and repent, and ask God for forgiveness for being part of the decadence of the society.
I hear you. I agree with you. What do you think of the fact that Mitt Romney won't even call out Obama on Fast and Furious or Solyndra or Solyndra, but then lets Obama call him a crook for nothing?
Well, Mitt Romney, I think, signed an assault weapons ban in 2004 in Massachusetts.
Oh, but we're supposed to ignore that because he says he's conservative now. I hear you. Exactly. He's a total ringer, ladies and gentlemen. More and more of that evidence is clear. Roger in Kansas, you're on the air. Welcome.
Okay, listen, Alex, this is not a joke. You need to go to youtube.com/diamondparadigm. This is not a joke. I have the one true law of human interaction. The essence and chief cornerstone of the United States Constitution is called the focal point of freedom. It is the prime directive that you're calling for. This is not a joke. It states as such: all human beings are sovereign individuals with full ethical standing who possessing logically derived unalienable right to ownership of self starting at conception. This means they will behave however they choose unless and until they significantly...
listen, sir, I got to let you go. All right, just send me the video and I'll have to watch it. We're almost out of time, and I understand you're all hyped up, discovering that you've got God-given, unalienable, inalienable rights, and that nobody can ever say you're a slave. But you've got to fight for those. And if you won't fight, everybody's like, we're ready to shoot and kill and all this. Why don't you fight with your mouth first? The pen is mightier than the sword. We need to exhaust every avenue. And then if people try to put us in re-education camps, which is in the Army documents, a lot of people get scared by that and go, I better shut up. No, folks, you better speak out. We're going to let just a bunch of crooks take over and order the military to go after us? And this is sick. Chicago Mafia now runs the country, and tells us that, you know, they're going to shake us down and our kids are going to be in work brigades. Rahm Emanuel's making those announcements. Who's up next here, guys? Who's up next here, guys? Lloyd in Canada, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. We just got rid of the gun registry up here in Canada earlier this year. And
I'm glad you said that, I mean, because they started trying to ban them after that, and you guys went ape, which shows you can reverse the tyranny. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing that's worrying me about that now is I wonder if Harper knew all along that this thing was going to come in and they're going to sign on to this. I will not be complying with any UN takeover of a gun.
Well, good job. What do you make of the fact that more and more I mean, your own government says that your military takes orders from NATO and the UN now. I mean, I thought you were a sovereign country. Thank you, Lloyd. I appreciate your call. Let's talk to Tim in Tennessee. Tim, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I had a good idea. For the moment that Barry signs that UN law or whatever, that everybody that has guns, well, obviously the legal guns, because you have to go there and buy guns and they know where they are, so that it's easy for them to come get them. As soon as he signs it, everybody call the police and say, my gun just got stolen, and go from there. Because you can't tell them you have guns because they'll know where to come take them.
You know, there's an old saying that when it comes time to bury your guns, it's time to unbury them. I'm not burying firearms, and that's just the end of it. And I mean, basically, when they start trying, they're going to try to pass a bunch of regulations, and as they tried by shipping the guns into Mexico and then have Mexico sue and say we've got to, you know, ban this fully auto now. I mean, there's no doubt they want to do it. So we're just going to get the word out that they're terrorist criminals and it's game over.
Right. Well, I just thought it'd be a way to, you know, make them crazy. For
No, you're right.
while,
Jesse
anyway.
Ventura made that joke. He said that, oh, I don't have any guns. I sold my guns a long time ago, or they got stolen. Yeah.
Well, I learned that a long time ago, too, because I have them, but they're not registered or legal like they, you know, oh, you don't have any legal guns. Well, I got them, and it's none of their business.
Well, I'll say this. If we ever have to bury our legal guns, it's time to unbury them. I mean, it's like, I mean, I guess in a guerrilla-type situation like that, you do want to have some buried just in case they caught you unaware. I mean, this is a bad, folks, people, it's a bad road we're going down. The globalists aren't playing games. Makes me sick at my stomach we've even reached this point. I can't believe the military has been told that it's under UN command and the Congress doesn't count, and nothing happened. I mean, it's Victor in Canada. Last caller we have time to go to. Welcome, Victor.
Hi, Alex. How are you? I'm originally from Russia. Yesterday, I went down to the military bases here in Canada, and I talked to one of the veterans that was in there. I was trying to buy some from him. And I asked him about all the things that's going on today, including the gun confiscation, including the vaccinations, including the war that's just about to start in Persian Gulf. And I said, are you guys all aware of this thing? He says he's very much aware of this, whatever is going on, and he's scared of what's going to happen to the Canadian military when this whole thing starts to unravel. But
well, that's the other issue. The Russians are shipping weapons into Syria. The globalists are lining up for big wars. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a one team against another. But what I watched this thing for a long time. I came from Russia when I was younger, and I was awake then.
Sure, real fast.
In 2009, I watched a celebration in Berlin of a collapse of the Berlin Wall. And I looked at that thing, and that thing didn't look normal because it had 1,000 dominoes collapsing one behind another, and on every one of these dominoes in paint of the country. So I look at it now.
That's right. The whole thing was staged. Exactly. The globalists created both sides to play them off against each other. Now they're merging.